decorated with many celestial ornaments and bore, bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
Number 12. Devi Shuja Sahasrasya Bhave Juga Padutthita Yodiva Shodrishi Shashada Bhashasya Mahatmana.
If hundreds of thousands of suns were to rise at once into the sky, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of Supreme Person in that universal form.
Number 13. Tatraikastam Jagat Krishnam Provi Bhakta Mane Katha Apushya Devu Devesha Sharire Pandavastata.
At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe, situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
Number 14. Tatosha Vishtaya Vishyarvishta Rishto Roma Dhananjaya Pranamo Shirasha Devam Gitanjali Bhashata.
Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord.
Number 15. Arjuna Vacha Pashyami Devam Stabudeva Dehe Sharvam Satabhuta Vishesha Shanghan Brahmanamesham Kamalasanastu Mrishishyam Sharvanuragam Shadivan.
Arjuna said, My dear Lord Krishna, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents.
Number 16. Anek bahu darune batarvatranektam pashyami tang sarvatavanadan anantarupam nantang namadhang napunastabading pashyami vishesharabhisharupa.
O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere, without limit. I see you no end, no middle, and no beginning.
Number 17. Kiritinang godinang chakrinang cha tejo rashing sharvata deeptimantam pashyami tang dhurniriksha shamanda deepta nalarko dutima prameyam.
Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence spreading on all sides like blazing fire or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
Number 18. Tamaskaram paramam veditattvam tamasta vishesha paramanidhanam tamobhaya shashvata dharma gopta shanatanastam purushamatame.
You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all the universe. You are inexhaustible. You are the oldest, the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion.
Number 19. Anadimadhananan manantavija manantavahum shashishujanetram pashyami tam diptahutashabhaktam shatejasha vishamidam tapantam.
You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and the moon are your eyes. I see you with blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance.
Number 20. Dava Prithivodhi Ridamantarahumiki Baptam Tawikena Dishasya Sharva Drishtadbhutam Rupo Mukram Tavedam Lokotrayam Prabhutitam Mahatman.
Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed.
Number 21. Amihatam Shura Shankha Vishanti Kechid Vita Pranjalaya Grinanti Shasti Tutta Mahashishita Shangha Savanti Tang Stuti Vipushpalavi.
All the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
Number 22. Rudradita Vashve Ye Chashata Vishe Hoshino Marutascha Pascha Gandharva Jaksha Shuranishita Shangha Vikshante Tang Bhishmita Shaiva Sharve.
All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Visvadevas, the two Asvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder.
Number 23. Rupam Mahote Bahubhatranekram Mahabaho Bahubaru Rupada sorry Maha Rupam Mahote Bahubhatranetram Mahabaho Bahu Tarurupadam Bahudaram Bahudrashtakaralam Drishtaloka Prabhutitastham.
O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I.
Number 24. Navos Prisham Dipti Manekavarnam Vatananam Dipta Vishala Netram Drishtahitam Prabhatitam Taratma Dhiting Navindami Shamacham Shabishna.
O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouth, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind.
Number 25. Dramshta Karalani Chatumakhani Drishteva Kala Narashannibani Dishena Janena Lavecha Sharma Prashida Devesha Jagannivasha.
O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance seeing this your blazing, death-like faces and awful teeth. In all direction I am bewildered.
Number 26 and 27. Ami Chitang Dhita Rashtra Shriputra Sharve Shahi Papina Lashangai Vishadrana Shutaputra Satashai Shahashmadi Oirapi Jodhamokshay Bhaktra Niteta Ramana Vishanti दंष्टा करालानि भयानकानि केचित् लग्ना दशनन्तुरेष संशीदने चूरितुत्तमावै.
All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers, also are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
Hare Krishna, please accept my forgive my mistake to everybody. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
very much, Palika Mataji, Jyoti Mataji. Palika Mataji, nothing to apologize for. It was very nicely recited. Just out of interest, were you reading the English or the Sanskrit?
I was reading the Bengali Sanskrit.
Okay, yeah, because I could see that your pronunciation was very, very good, and some of the words, the way you pronounce them, I could see that they were from either Bengali or Sanskrit. That's good. Very nice. Excellent. It makes very easy actually if you can read either Sanskrit, Bengali or Hindi, then those words are easy to pronounce. Thank you so much. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
so let me close this one. Okay, do you see the PowerPoint now?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so let's go. Continuing reading chapter 11. So, as usual, we'll do the summary first. So, chapter so far, text 1 to 8, Arjuna requests and Arjuna's request and Krishna's description of his universal form. So up to then, Krishna was just describing, and then he gives him the Divya Chakshus, and then from 9 to 31, Sanjay is now describing through Arjuna's vision to Dhritarashtra. So we will well into this session, and today we will start from, yesterday we had a wonderful class with Kartik Chandra Prabhu, amazing class he did with such a small purport, and he obviously, Kartik Chandra Prabhu is my Shiksha Guru. Whenever I have any questions, I go to him. He is, of course, very, very learned. He is a Sanskrit scholar. So for him, everything sort of obviously makes much more sense than it does to us. So very, very fortunate to have people like Kartik Chandra Prabhu, also Sutrapa Prabhu, people like that in our manner. We're so fortunate to have such learned people. So it was a great class. He did 21 yesterday. So today we're supposed to do from 22. So what's happening is from 22 to 25, there are no purports. So the tradition is contradiction is if Prabhupada didn't give a purport, generally speaking, we would just read the translation and move on. Or just pick up a couple of things which strike us, but that's not dwell too much on that verse, because Prabhupada didn't give a purport purely because it was simple to understand. There was nothing much more to say. So because there are quite a few verses we're doing today, so what I'll do is we'll start with the Mangalacharan, with the invocation and Mangalacharan, and then dive into the slokas. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swaminiti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pascharya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My humble obeisances to all the devotees. Thank you so much for joining us for this session. So yeah, we start with 11:22. Let me just move that slide down here. Okay. Rudraditya vasavo ye cha sadhya vishveshvinau marutaschoshma pasha gandharva yaksha suraseda sangha vikshante tvam vishmitas chaiva sarve. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvadevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfect demigods are beholding you in wonder. So we note here in this verse, the mood is wonder. At the moment, everybody is just admiring the amazing form. Awe and reverence. That's the mood at the moment. Vikshante tvam vishmitas. So vikshante means seeing you, vishmitas. So in wonder. 23. Rupam mahatte bahuvatra netram Mahabaho bahurupadam Bahudaram bahudamstra karalam Drishva loka pravyatitas tathaham. Almighty Armed One, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. So you can see here from text 22 to 23, the mood has changed from wonder to fear, almost disturbance. Now the mood is changed. In the verse, many times I remind the devotees when you're reciting Sanskrit that must keep an eye on the marks, the diacritics here. So if you see Maha, Baho, Bahu. So if somebody ignored this and said that Baho actually is, in Sanskrit it is Bahu, Bahuru, Padam. Bahu, Bahuru, Padam. So Bahuru actually is a Sandhi. Bahu and Uru. So Bahu means many, and Bahu means arms. Uru means thighs, and then Pada means feet. So Bahu, Bahuru. So Bahu and Bahu, completely different meanings. Bahu means many, Bahu means the arms. So this way, like I was saying, if we make a mistake and we say Bahu both times, then we are saying, many, rather than saying many arms. Okay, so this is why these marks are very, very important. So moving on to next one. 24. Nabhasprisham diptam aneka varnam Vyatananam dipta vishala netram Drishtva hitvam pravyathatintaram. Sorry. Drishtva hitvam pravyatitantara atma dhritim na vidvindami samam cha Vishnu. All-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths, and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium. So Arjuna is now getting quite perturbed, cannot stand steady. Fear is now gripping him. 25. Damsra karalani chate mukhani dristvaiva kala nalasannibhani disho na jane na labhe na sa sharma prashid devesha jagannibhasa. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. So he's seeing, Arjuna is seeing death-like faces and awful teeth. And then Anala, as we discussed the other week, Anala means fire. Kala Anala, the fire of death. Kala means death. So he's getting more and more disturbed, as you can see as we go along. 26 and 27. Ami chatvam drishtarashtrasya putra sarve sahaiva vanipala sangai Bhishmo drona sutaputra tathasau sahas madiyet apiyoda mukhye vakrani te tvaramana vishanti Damstra karalani bhayanakani kechid vilagna dasanantareshu sadrishyante chuniter utamangai. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all our chief soldiers also are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. In the verse, in the Sanskrit, I just wanted to clarify one thing. So here, for example, in the first line, at the end of the first line, we have putra. So when you have the H with the dot underneath, we normally say putraha, because we repeat the H sound again, putraha. But when that appears in the middle of the shloka, like here, drona, so the Sanskrit, the rule is that at the end of a line, you can make a double sound, but in the middle, Bhishmo, you don't say dronaha there. You say drona, like a quick stop, rather than a double sound, it's a hard stop. Bhishmo drona sutta putras tatashu. And at the end, when it's putraha, because sometimes when you add the double sound in the middle, you miss the meter because it becomes a little bit out of sync. So that's just a very technical thing, but interesting to note. So now we can go to the purport of this verse. These are the two verses that have purport. Somebody can unmute and read the purport, please.
In a previous verse,
Yes.
the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. Now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra and their soldiers and Arjuna's own soldiers are all being annihilated. This is an indication that after the death of nearly all the persons assembled at Kurukshetra, Arjuna will emerge victorious. It is also mentioned here that Bhishma, who is supposed to be unconquerable, will also be smashed. So also Karna. Not only will the great warriors of the other party like Bhishma be smashed, but some of the great warriors of Arjuna's side also. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
So, yeah, straightforward purport. We just pick up, as we do normally, pick up the main points from here, and then we'll see how we can expand. So the main point that he says in the previous verse, the Lord promised to show Arjuna things he would be very interested in seeing. So that verse Prabhupada is referring to is the text 7 in chapter 11, where it is said, Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving is here completely in one place. So we've discussed this many, many times, this amazing vision, everything in one place, the whole universe he is showing to Arjuna in one place. Then Prabhupada says in the purport, now Arjuna sees that the leaders of the opposite party, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and all the sons of Dhritarashtra, and their soldiers, and Arjuna's own soldiers are all being annihilated. So this is, you can see that he's actually seeing the future. By looking at the universal form, he has seen everything else. He's seen all the demigods and all the great personalities offering respect to the universal form. And that was like the present. Now he's seeing the future. And in the future, he's seeing that all these people are dying. So in a way, he's seeing actually the end of the war almost. And then Prabhupada says that, so here Arjuna sees all the three, this is not from the purport actually, this is just a note I made, that the three most feared members of the opposite army were Bhishma, Drona, and Karna. So when Arjuna sees that all three personalities are actually going into the mouths of the universal form, he can now say that yes, definitely I can be assured that victory will be ours, because without those three amazing soldiers, warriors, there's no hope that the Kauravas would win. So this was like a assurance for Arjuna. But then, of course, it says not only will the great warriors of other party, but Bhishma's side, like Bhishma's did met, but also warriors on Arjuna's side too. So of course, it must be very sad for Arjuna to see that, of course, not only the Kauravas, but on his side, the Pandava soldiers, a lot of them also perished. But then that is war. When you go into war, the soldiers are prepared for this kind of eventualities. And as we know, that at the end of the war, very, very few personalities survived. It was one of the most devastating wars in the history of humanity. So now you see that the last few verses we read, very, very ghastly scenes. In this picture, you can see here in the mouth of the Lord, all these living entities are entering, and then it says some of them are smashed between the teeth. You can see all very, very gory details, blazing death-like faces, awful teeth, warriors rushing into your fearful mouths, some trapped with their heads smashed between your teeth. So very, very gory details being described. See, you would almost think that this is almost like a horror movie. It doesn't belong in some shastra. This kind of descriptions are somewhere you see some movie scene where these are very, very gory details. And even then, this kind of movie with so much gory details would be rated 18 plus or something, where kids are not allowed to see all these things. But here we see the Bhagavad Gita is giving us completely plain all the facts, not hiding anything. So why? Why? So here we have to understand that Bhagavad Gita is teaching us to confront reality, not shy away from reality, right? So reality is that death and destruction are the inevitable end for everything and everybody in this world. That we will all at some point be destroyed, one way or the other. That is the reality. So Bhagavad Gita teaches us not to hide from this reality, but to face it, right? Accept the futility of the material life. Once we get to the stage that we accept the futility of the material life, then that is half the battle. The problem with materialistic people is they don't see anything beyond material life. Initially, they are just working hard like donkeys just to make a living here. Then they get into a phase of accumulation, and then they even if they are doing any Vedic rituals, these rituals are karmakanda rituals where they're doing it either to improve their current status or to do some pious activities, so in future they can get some better situation in life, either in this planet or in higher planets. But this is the limitation. But if they realize that death and destruction are inevitable, whatever success you may get, eventually we're going to be destroyed. Then you will start to think about exploring the higher purpose of human life. This is what the Bhagavad Gita is trying to get everybody to reach to. So by redirecting our activities and our love, our feelings from materialistic things, if we direct that towards spiritual things, towards Krishna, then that is the only way we can be saved from the path of repeated birth and death. So we'll take some nice verses that I came across. This actually at the Bhakti Vaibhav, we are studying the 5th canto, so you will see recently I quote a lot of the 5th canto verses because these are our memory verses. Kalika Mataji will probably know some of them. So this is Rishabdev instructing his sons, and this is the very first verse of that chapter 5 of the 5th canto. Remember, what we are talking about is how Bhagavad Gita is giving us all the gory details so that we can be awakened to the fact that this place is not fit for us. So here Rishabdev is saying to his sons, Rishab Uvacha, Nayam Deho Deha Bhajam Niloke Kashtan Kaman Arhate Vidujam Ye Tapo Divyam Putrakaye Nasatvam Sudhyed Yashmad Brahma Saukhyam Tvanantam. Beautiful verse, an amazing instruction Lord is giving to his sons. My dear boys, Lord Rishabh told his sons, my dear boys, all of the living entities who have accepted material bodies in this world, out of all, right? Of all, yeah. One who has been awarded this human form should not work hard day and night simply for sense gratification, which is available even to dogs and hogs that eat stool. One should engage in penance and austerity to attain the divine position of devotional service. By such activity, one's heart is purified, and when one attains this position, he attains eternal blissful life, which is transcendental to material happiness, and which continues forever. So this is the difference. Whatever material gain we have, as we say so many times, Prabhupada repeats this on and on again, it always finishes with this body. But the spiritual gains, here is saying that by engaging in penance and austerity, we attain the divine position of devotional service. And that continues. That is, not only is it higher, it is transcendental to material happiness, but it continues forever. So we need to always keep reminding ourselves that yes, we're living in the material world. We have to engage in material activity to maintain our families, etc., etc. But we have to always remember that that is not the purpose of life. And we must always create time for spiritual activities. And gradually, as we get freer from our material activities, as we get older, as our children get settled up and our responsibilities diminish, we should then devote more and more time to devotional service. That is the only way out. This continues, the fourth verse of the same chapter. Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma yat indriya pritaya pranoti nasadu manye yatatmanoyam asan api kleshada ashadeha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kind of sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already received a body, which although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after the other. Such amazing instruction, right? So we all have been given this material body because we desired to enjoy ourselves materially. This is why we have this body. Somehow we have got the human body, which is the best vehicle to be in. We've always been in, we have of course been in many other bodies also, animal bodies. We've been pigs before, we've been elephants, we've been cows, but now we are human beings. And this is the time when we can do something about this. In the other yonis, there is no hope. They have to just wait for their turn, gradually coming up to the human life. But when we come to the human life, this is the situation. We need to know that we have got this body because we desire sense gratification. And now, here it says that if you don't understand that, and if you don't stop this repeated activity, sinful activities of sense gratification, we're going to perpetually get material bodies again and again. And it is not a very intelligent thing to do. Then going back to the second chapter, some nice verses again linked to this, about materialistic people. So, Shrotavyatini Rajendra Ninam Santi Sahasrasha Apashyatam Atmatattvam Griheshu Griha Medina. Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor. So here Sukadeva Goswami is speaking to Parishad Maharaj, addressing him as Emperor. And he is repeating what we're saying. So anybody who's materially engrossed, they're blind to the ultimate truth. Ultimate truth is what we just described. Ultimate truth is that material life is temporary. Material life is painful. Material life doesn't need to be repeated. We need to make our way out of here. The ultimate truth is that we need to connect with the Lord and get out of this situation. And then it further describes the materialistic people. Nidriya hirte naktam Vyavayena chavarvaya Diyacharte haya rajan kutumba bharanenava. So this is the situation for all of us. The lifetime of such an envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime either in making money or maintaining family members. This is how, unfortunately, most of the human beings complete their life. They're doing this from birth. All the activities are this. In the beginning is school, then it's teenage playtime, and then it is married and responsibilities. It's all going round and round in circles, and in the end, before they know it, it's down, end of life, and they have done nothing about their spiritual life. So this is the sorry situation of most of us. So grihastha, here in the first verse, actually 212, the griha medhi. So there are two terms, there's grihastha and griha medhi. Can somebody explain the difference?
Prabhuji, I think in Varnashram system, Grihastha life is mentioned in Varnashram, and Griha Medhi is the materialistic.
Yes, that's correct, Rupa Mataji, thank you. So Grihastha means somebody who's living here as in a married situation, but apart from performing their material duties, the person is also engaged in devotional service. That's the Grihastha life. And Griha Medhi is what we're talking about here. Somebody who's just living like an animal, no insight into spirituality, just living life, spending the daytime working hard, nighttime sleeping, and nothing else. So this is Griha Medi. So we have to remember, just ask ourselves, just look at our own lives, and we ask ourselves, am I a Grihastha or am I a Griha Medi? If you are a Grihastha, there's a chance that you will progress spiritually. If we are a Griha Medi, we are not. Then we are not going to progress. We're going to come back here, and it's not guaranteed we'll come back in the human form. Then 214. Dehapatya kalatra deshvatma sainyeshvashat api tesham pramato nidanam pashyan api na pashyati. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire into the problems of life, being too attached to fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. Although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see the inevitable destruction. So it's repeating the same thing here. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva. Atma Tattva means the pure Tattva, pure truth, the absolute truth. One doesn't know the Atma Tattva. They don't inquire into the problems of life, meaning problems of life. See, people inquire about problems of life, material problems of life. No, but we need to inquire about the big problem of life. The biggest problem of life, Prabhupada always says, is not our money, it's not our family relationship, it's not whatever else we think of. The biggest problem for us is this repeated birth and death. How do we solve that problem? They don't ask, because they're too involved with the fallible soldiers like the body, children, and wife. 216. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Vyam Swadharma Parinishaya Janma Labha Para Pumsam Ante Narayana Smriti. Ante Narayana Smriti. Very, very important. The highest perfection of human life, achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, by practice of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duty, is to remember the personality of Godhead at the end of life. Antakale chamameva smara mukta kalevaram. Remembering the Lord at the end of life. And in this verse, Shukadev Goswami is not completely rejecting other systems. So this perfection of life can be achieved by complete knowledge of matter and spirit. So that is the Sankhya path. Practice of mystic powers, the yogic path, or perfect discharge of it's a karma yoga path. So all these paths, if you do them properly, eventually will lead you to perfection. But in the Kali Yuga, in this age, it is very, very, all the other paths are very, very troublesome, very, very hard. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came specially to give us a simple path of just chanting the names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by chanting the holy names of the Lord, by reading about the Lord, by hearing about the Lord, and developing our relationship with the Lord, we can make our way back. We can get to the stage where we can remember the personality of a God at the end of life. Ante Narayana Smriti. And that is the perfection of one's human life. Ante Narayana Smriti. So devotees, we will stop here and ask for any comments, questions, corrections. Let me see what's in the chat. Okay, there's no
Thank you,
question.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Pali. Hare Krishna.
Yes, a wonderful class, because bringing all the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, and especially chapter Canto 5 is all the what was the instruction by Rishabdev to his sons. It's just so wonderful. I think everybody needs to read those, and it's just too wonderful. I remember I used to listen to one of the verses of by Srila Prabhupada, where he says that human life is not like cats and dogs. And also he said that everybody who's responsible, they should try to, one shouldn't be a parent, one shouldn't be a teacher who cannot take their dependent from repeated birth and old age disease. So
Yes.
I heard this verse by Srila maybe 100 times. I still felt it was refreshed every time I listened. So the whole Canto 5 is wonderful. The whole Bhagavatam is so wonderful.
Of course. Yeah. Thank you, Palika Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you. And yesterday you were not in the class, Palika Mataji. I was looking for you because I was glorifying all the devotees like yourself who engaged in the Bhadra Purnima festival and did so wonderful service. And yesterday, I think Hema Mataji was here. Hema Mataji, I think in the end she said she did 16 or 19 sets or something like this. That's something amazing. And I know, yes, I mentioned you because you did. What was your final score?
And it's 24 or 25, but with East London, I think must have been 35 or something.
That is just absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's amazing. So that is such amazing.
All Srila Prabhupada and Vaisheshika Prabhu came.
Yes.
He actually he gave his blessing, and I think with his blessing it happened, and nothing to do with me.
That's amazing.
It was wonderful. It was really wonderful to approach everybody and for them to make it good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Palika Mataji. You can see from here actually, the devotees, that when you have a taste for something, then you're able to really go and actually convince other people, because Palika Mataji has a really amazing taste for Bhagavatam. When we're doing our Bhagavatam course, and she's always there regularly, she never misses any classes, and she's always very, very keen whenever there is any question that the teacher asks. Palika Mataji is the first one to unmute herself. Now, of course, we are on Zoom, so unmute herself, and she's the one who's giving all the answers, and she's so eager to participate. So she's got some amazing taste for the Bhagavatam, and this is why it happens. When you have taste for something, you're able to convince others about it. So thank you so much, Palika Mataji.
I remember why I couldn't be there, because I was installing Srimad Bhagavatam in my daughter-in-law's mother's house. So that's why I couldn't be there. So we all had a wonderful ceremony, and you may have seen in the Shankirtan, I sent the picture. Even the granddaughter, she was ringing the bell and chanting Hare Krishna, and we recited the verse, the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. So I asked all the family members to recite that verse, and then we chanted Hare Krishna. So it was really wonderful.
Very nice. Exactly. Fantastic. So many. So with this incentive from the Mana for the Bhadra Purnima, I think it's about 300 families who are going to get the benefit of the Srimad Bhagavatam in their homes, which is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much again. Any other comments, anybody? Okay, so perhaps maybe we can do a couple of introductions. We have just a couple of 5 minutes. We can do some introductions. I know quite a few of you have already done the introductions, so maybe we'll just ask somebody to voluntarily say to us if you haven't done the introduction. I've got somebody called CJ here. I'm not sure, with the schools opening and more people going around, we will probably have more cases happening. So let's take more care as we go. Let's be very, very vigilant, and then hopefully we'll come out the other end in a better state. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you.
Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks for a lovely class as usual.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's inspiring me to go and open Canto 5 now. Thank you, Palika Mataji. Maybe you can give us some tips about big Srimad Bhagavatam distribution.
Palika Mataji can maybe do a session on that. Yes, that'd be nice.
Yes, please. Yeah, that'd be great.
Very kind of you. It is all Srila Prabhupada's mercy.
Yes, but there are ways to get to Sri Prabhupada. Maybe you can show us the way. Thank you.
Palika Mataji, mercy is there. Mercy is everywhere. It's like Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is everywhere. But you need to connect, and you connect so well. So you-
Yes, I do agree. I have actually had help from him when I went to door one. But the Srimad Bhagavatam, I seem to be a bit stuck in that area. I'd like some help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jolly Mataji. I'm sure you make the wish, Prabhupada will make it happen.
Yes. Thank you very much. Haribol.
All
Hare
right.
Krishna.
Okay.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vishali Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
I couldn't even do one. Srimad
You-
Bhagavatam. Last year I did one, but this year I tried so many everywhere, and they said we haven't got the money, or times are too difficult,
Yes,
or we'll come back to you.
I know you get that quite a lot, and yeah, we also when we start our group, when we started we were struggling. We got to 8 or 9, and then suddenly the last month something happened and everything just started to fall in place.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we did 6 in our group. We were supposed to be doing 25.
Okay, and how many did you do?
6.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we were expecting one more, but we didn't come around to it. So
Okay.
one of those things.
Yeah, it happens. It's okay. You know what, Vishali Mataji, it is the effort that counts.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
Krishna
Yes.
and Prabhupada, they appreciate the effort. So that's what matters. And six is very good. It is 6 families are going to be benefiting. So that's very
Yes,
good.
that's the main thing. Even if one benefits,
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
Krishna goes in one's house and that's it.
That's
But
already
yeah.
success. Already success. That's it. Yes.
Okay, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank